Hey everyone, welcome back to Cruising Through History. So glad you're here. Today I want to start our first video session with giving you some tips and strategies for supporting your EL students in the content classroom. It's no surprise our class sizes have gotten larger. EL students ranging from level 1 to 5 are there, and many content teachers are drowning. So, after speaking with many educators across the nation, some principals, some different leaders, some who are teaching many years and just starting, I want to provide you the tips and strategies I've given in a variety of PDs as well as have tried and it's worked. I want to focus on vocabulary. A lot of times our content teachers, they struggle to support their EL students because they don't have the background knowledge that an EL teacher would have. They don't know the performance indicators. They don't know all the research behind what works and how to adjust and specifically what chunking looks like and all the things. So I always thought, how do we expect our content teachers to survive if they didn't have that schooling, that education, they didn't have that background? So how can we just simply provide what they need rather than telling them, read this book, go to this PD, go watch this online forum? No. I'm not trying to do that. I want to give you quick tips that you can do in literally less than 5 minutes, because all you got to do is print and go. And that's my goal today. So I'm going to explain a little background, then I'm going to tell you how I used it, and then I'll give you the link so that you can use it too. We are talking about vocabulary, specifically academic vocabulary. There are 3 tiers of vocab. Tier 1 is just those words that they see every single day. I'm not talking about that. Tier 2 is words that they would see in every classroom. Those are the words that you'll put in your learning target, such as explain, create. Why can't I think of any more? Compare, describe. Those are the terms that when I was in the classroom, I'd put my learning target on the board, whiteboard protocol, and I would either highlight in a different color or I would box it in. I'd let the student know when I reviewed the learning target, this is what I'm looking for and this is what it means. When I'm asking you to describe, I'm asking you to do this. That was how I quickly went over tier 2. I also had them printed in a binder in English, Spanish, and Arabic, because that's what made up my classroom. If you want that, please ask. I will provide it to you just like I have to all my teachers in a quick Google Drive forced copy. So let me know. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about tier 3. Tier 3 academic vocab are those terms that are specific to your current topic or unit. So for example, one that I'll use today was when we were teaching Civil War. I would have no more than 4 to 6 terms that I was expecting students to know and master by the end of the week. So it might be Civil War, slavery, I don't know what else, but I'm giving you those 2 at the moment. And I'd have them listed under my learning target, and I would keep that up all week. Now, what I was asking students to do for specifically my EL students, I was asking them to be able to say the word, look for the word in their reading, intentionally listen to the word, and use that word in their writing. And so we would do for my, when I had a bilingual class, we would do some vocab games, and in another video, I'll explain what some are. But what I would ask when I listed them on the board was every student got a template like this. You see here, it says academic, I don't know if you can see it the right way, academic content word, and they would put those terms here. And all they had to do, you had different columns, 4 columns. I heard it, I said it, I wrote it, and I read it. All they had to do was put a checklist. So, or not a list, but they would just check off when they noticed or utilized that term. So a lot of times in the very beginning, first time we did it, at the end of the week, I noticed, okay, there's a lot of checks for heard it and read it. Those were easy. But I wouldn't see as many checks for said it and wrote it. And usually when I asked them to write a simple explanation of the word, it wasn't proficient enough. It was missing some understanding. It was very basic. And so we got to see over time that when their checks were pretty much level playing field, maybe you read it 6 times, you said it 6 times, wrote it so many times, that their explanation was with more confidence. It was better. They weren't as basic and surface level. And so we started to see that when the students were, not we, but when I started to see that when the students were being intentional with those 4 to 6 terms each week, they had a better understanding of the content overall. It allowed them to just push out all the extra noise and fluff and details and get to the nitty gritty of what my unit or topic was about that week. And this worked for level 1 EL, all the way till my level 3, 4, and 5. But it was something that was very successful in the classroom. It didn't provide a lot of extra, I didn't need to have a lot of extra work for it. And it was something very simple that even other students who may have struggled in just their reading or their comprehension understanding, they even said, I'm not an EL student, but can I use this too? Because it's a good way for them to be intentional and focus their learning. So I think that's about it. At the end of the week, you would then ask them to take that term and explain it. And they can do it by writing, or you can have them do it to you verbally. But that was a simple way that I would assess their content understanding and their vocab understanding, and it worked. So if that's something that interests you, please check out the link, get the free template, and I'd love to hear if this helped at all, and I'd love to hear how you're using it in the classroom. All right, have a great night.